Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
The most disgusting sound in all the world.
This is the Big Deal Podcast, brought to you and powered by New Covenant Baptist Church in Albertville, Alabama. And on this podcast, we're asking the question, what's the big deal about all things Bible, theology, and culture? I'm Justin.
I'm Brad.
Welcome to the Big Deal. All right, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please click that little follow button so you get the weekly updates when the podcast drops. You can also comment on Spotify. If you're on YouTube, please comment, like, subscribe, do all of those things, and reach out if you got questions or observations about what we're talking about here, because we like to interact with those things.
Yeah.
Brad, I got a question for you. This is also sent in by a viewer, okay? Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, I view all the podcasts. So I'm sending in the question.
Okay.
Sometimes, maybe if you're watching or listening to this and you have a question you'd like to have us ask here at the beginning, you could send it in.
100%.
And I would ask it and we would answer it. And it'd be fun.
Like, who does your hair?
Yeah. Who does your hair?
A Stone's Barbershop.
Oh, yeah? Stones?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that is.
It's in Fort Payne. I've been using that guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His brother cuts hair in town. It's also Stone's Barbershop.
Oh, yeah? I need a new
It's like
guy.
a family affair. They're like in their 60s and they've been cutting hair since they're boys.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Their
Well, I got a
kids
question for you.
Okay.
The world wants to know, man. I want you to imagine, say you had the opportunity to start a new profession, a new career right now. What would it be? Like, what would you, if you just got to start doing it? You didn't have to do any of the training. You just got to start doing something new. But we're going to assume, just for the sake of clarity, we're going to assume you didn't get disqualified for the ministry. And we're also going to assume that this is not a coup. That I'm trying to
I want to be a model. I'm a model. Yeah.
You want to be a model?
No. Seemed like a pretty easy gig.
Yeah.
You just walk down, sachet, I don't know. A pitcher for the Atlanta Braves.
Okay, just going straight there.
I want to be a Hall of Fame pitcher.
A 50-year-old
Greg
man.
Maddux.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be something people want to watch.
You'd be a record setter.
People be like, where were you when you were young? I'd be like, you should have seen me when I was young, but I was busy preaching for the Lord. I didn't have time to play ball.
That's fun.
No, I don't. I think I just opened a butcher shop in town.
Oh, yeah. You want to cut meat up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
People.
It's like, this ribeye here is delish.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, now you guys know if you need meat sliced, Brad will do it.
No, I didn't say I knew how to do it. You said I would be automatically skilled in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I can quarter stuff out.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I could figure it out.
Yeah, you can figure it out. You're a smart guy.
Real smart. I got Google.
Yeah, you can watch YouTube, man. You can figure anything
Absolutely.
out.
I watch the Bearded Butchers on there.
Yeah, those
Shout
guys
out.
are cool, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Their knives are so sharp.
I bought one of their knives.
Did you?
I cut
super
stuff
sharp
up with it. Super sharp. Until it ain't. You got to sharpen it.
Yeah, keep it sharp.
I'm figuring that out.
They are experts at sharpening knives.
He wears chainmail when
He does, yeah.
so that he won't stab himself.
Yeah.
Because
that knife would go straight through him. Yep. It's like it's designed to cut through meat.
It's kind of scary watching a butcher work when you think about it. Like a skilled butcher could get rid of you in 2 minutes.
Golly, you'd be sliced up into chops, man, like nothing.
Gone. Well, that went to a dark place.
Yeah,
why do I do
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Sorry. My brain.
Intrusive thoughts. All right. So
back, demons. Push them back down.
Oh, man. So we're tracking through the narrative of the Bible. We're still in Genesis, spending time in Genesis. And I originally, when we started all this, we were like, we'll just go through the narrative of the Bible. We can do this in a couple episodes. And what it's turned into is that we're going to read every word of the Bible. That's so far.
But it's also good.
I know. I keep on telling Brad, I'm like, hey, we could skip this section right here. This is kind of, and Brad's like, no, we got to do that. We got to talk about that. We got to read that sentence too. And so we're just going on to the next chapter as the expositors that we are.
Can't help it. We love it all.
I can't help it. I can't help it. And so we're going to be in Genesis chapter 23.
Yep, the Michael Jordan chapter.
This afternoon. Yep. So what'd you say?
Michael Jordan chapter. He's number 23.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This is Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Right.
This is the Hall of Fame chapter of the Bible.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird one to have for that.
It is.
You would think that
I don't
might
know
be
why
like
I said that,
Jesus.
really. You see that thing where the guy says that this little kid, he's like a redneck, and he says, hey, Daddy, you ain't going to believe this. My buddy said that his parents named him Michael on account he could jump so high. And he said, well, what they call him before he learned to jump, just call him baby. And the kid goes, he lied to me.
I think that's King of the Hill.
Was it?
I think that's King of the Hill.
Maybe it was. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, he squints his eyes. He lied to me.
I don't know.
Oh, man, that's funny. I love King of the Hill.
I put my ADHD to use in this show. It's like we went from Genesis 23 to King of the Hill.
I used to watch King
In
of
a
the Hill every
second.
single day when I was growing up, man. It was like my favorite cartoon.
Yeah. Well, you could have done worse.
I could have done worse, yeah. Oh, man, that's funny. It's been a while.
If I was in that show, I'm definitely the exterminator ant guy, I guess, or something.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
Boomhauer. I tell you what, man.
Your accent isn't quite bad as Boomhauer.
Yeah. I might be Hank Hill.
You're closest to Hank Hill, actually. Yeah,
probably.
you are. Yeah.
Except I'm opposite. I like charcoal.
Dang it, Bobby.
Dang it. I say dang it, Bobby, all the time.
Yeah, I know. What?
What? It's HW.
Yeah, no, there's more H in it. Yeah. What?
So Genesis 23.
Genesis 23. This is Sarah dies, man.
She does.
Yeah, this is Abraham's wife. Been through all these things. It says verse 1 says, now Sarah lived 127 years. That's long.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. That means that Isaac was about 37.
Yeah. And
I would think about this, though.
yeah.
She died at 127. That means they've been sojourning. Abraham was 75 when God calls him out of Ur of the Chaldees. And we know that Sarah's like 8 or 9 years younger than him.
Yeah.
So she probably left when she was like 68 or so.
Mm-hmm.
She's 127.
Yeah.
She's been sojourning half her life.
Half her life, man.
Yeah.
Wow. In the promised land. Just
That
not
they-
settled, though, really.
No.
You know, this still just kind of...
Well, that's part of the point of this chapter, really.
Yeah. Okay. It might be, well, you might say the big deal
It's a big
of this
deal.
chapter.
Yeah, the big deal of this chapter.
So Abraham's mourning over when Abraham got up from beside his dead wife, he spoke to the Hethites, I am an alien residing among you. Give me burial property among you so that I can bury my dead. Bury. How do you say bury?
Bury.
Bury.
Like Manilow.
But it's
bury.
got a U in it, so it makes me want to say bury.
Bury. Go bury your dead.
But that sounds southern.
Sounds actually Western cowboy.
Yeah. Bury. It's like
we
berry.
say berry.
Like
it's-
strawberry.
Like berry.
Yeah,
They go berry. Berry?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like strawberry. Yeah.
So Abram wants to bury Sarah somewhere, but he's got to have some land, right?
He got nowhere to put his dead. So think about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's been sojourning now for over 60 years in a place that's supposed to belong to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a place to put Sarah.
Oh, yeah. So we're still
That's
waiting
the
on
big
some
deal.
promise, aren't we?
We have not received a promise yet.
Yeah, we got
Sarah,
Isaac, and that's it.
Sarah has lived her whole life, left her home 60 years ago
Mm-hmm.
because God told Abraham, I'm going to give you a land.
Hmm.
And it's going to be yours. And they have received 0 square feet when she dies.
Wow.
She never saw the promise.
She didn't.
Nope. She saw Isaac,
Yep.
part of the promise.
Yep. That's part of it.
But she did not see the land.
You think they're living
Be
in
her.
tents the whole time?
Oh, their life was intense for sure. Gotcha.
That was a good one. It was intense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the Hethites replied to Abraham, listen to us, my Lord. You are a prince of God among us. Woo, look at that.
Look, his witness.
Or a mighty prince. Bury your dead in our finest burial place. None of us, man, that word is killing me. Burial. None of us will withhold from you his burial place for burying your dead. That's way too many times to say that word.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Pluck up your courage. You can make it.
I can do it.
Yeah.
So they give him the spot, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's
Well, actually, no. See, they say bury your dead in our spot.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
he's like, no, man, I need my own place. And
Yeah.
they're like, not they're a little bit reluctant to
Yep.
sell him land.
Yep.
They're trying to talk him out of it. So
Yep.
there's like a low-key sort of negotiation going on
Yep.
here. Because they know once he buys land, he kind of has a foothold there. And some of these folks wind up being enemies of Israel. Hittites are here.
Oh yeah. What, is it Hittites? Are they the same as the Hittites?
Well, let's see. What does it say in your verse 10? A Hittite answered
Hittites.
Abram in the
Okay,
hearing of
it's
the
just
sons of Heth. Yeah, these are analogous folk.
Yeah, that's right.
The Hittites, the Jebusites,
It's
the
just a different spelling.
Perizzites.
Yeah.
These are all folks that turn into enemies in the land of Canaan.
Yeah.
So they flatter him a little bit, and they're like, just bury your dead with ours. I mean, maybe they liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a theme, though, of the Bible in this as you read it. Folks who start out friendly don't always end up that way. The sons of Lot are going to wind up being a thorn in the side.
Yeah.
When Abraham made all these treaties with, or even with the Egyptians later, when Joseph goes down and he's with the Egyptians,
Yeah.
they give them land and they're like buddies, and he's second to Pharaoh, and by then they're oppressing him.
Yeah.
So, there's some foreshadowing, I
Yeah.
guess, but it doesn't always remain on friendly terms
Abraham gets the land. He buys it from him, right?
for absorbent price. He pays
So
a
that's
lot.
that's exorbitant.
I've read that. It is.
Okay.
It's a lot to ask for a cave.
Yeah, it says in verse 15.
I don't know what caves go for these days in Palestine, but back then it seemed like a lot.
Yeah, my Lord, listen to me. Land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? Bury your dead. Abraham agreed with Ephraim, and Abraham weighed out to Ephraim the silver that he had agreed to in the hearing of the Hittites. 400 standard shekels of silver. What's a shekel worth, man?
I think a shekel's like a day's wage, wasn't it? Maybe.
Let's see. Let's look
It's
it
like
up.
a year's wages.
Yeah, let's look it up. What's
Look
a
it
what verse was that?
Well, you're going to have to be careful
Shekels.
looking it up because they call them shekels in modern Israel.
I'm
too.
looking them up
Ancient
in,
shekel.
in the
That-
Hebrew dictionary.
Actually, I don't trust anything that they say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there
'Cause
might be some comparison
We're
stuff
talking
in the
about
scriptures,
like
though.
4,000 years
Yeah.
of history through the scripture.
Yeah, but if like it says like in another book, this pot is worth a shekel.
Yeah.
Well, then you have 400 pots worth, right?
Well, but
something
yeah,
like that.
but how much is a firehouse sub worth? If you go back
Dude,
5 years,
if
it
a
was
firehouse
6
sub-
shekels, and now it's 13 shekels in 5 years, man.
Imagine how much it would cost to make a firehouse sub in the ancient world.
You can't make it.
Oh my goodness,
It can't happen,
it'd be millions.
dude. They didn't even have jalapenos
Yeah,
or jalapenos, as
Yeah.
I refer to them
yeah.
affectionately.
You'd have to be able to get all the way to wherever those are.
Abraham never had a sandwich as good as we could get at Firehouse in his life.
Yeah, I
He probably never had chicken in his whole life.
Yeah, he probably didn't. Where did chickens? They come from China,
The jungle.
the jungle, for
I
real?
think so.
All right, we
Jungle
gotta
fowl.
get Google involved here. Where did chickens
I
come
think they
from?
were bred from jungle fowl.
All right, I'm gonna say China. Did chickens?
Why? They just strike you as Chinese?
Yeah, they look Chinese to me. Yeah.
Is that?
The chicken is a descendant of the Southeast Asian red jungle fowl. We're both
It was
right.
in the jungle.
in the Southeast
You
Asia.
in the jungle, baby.
Yeah. First domesticated in India, though, around 2000 BC. Huh.
Maybe he did have fried chicken.
Maybe. Most of the birds raised for meat today in America are from the Cornish breed or White Rock, which is English.
Yeah, you can
English
tell by the accent. They kind of balk a little different.
They balk with their pinky out.
Yeah, it's bark. Yeah, they like a little T.
That's so funny. I can't figure out how much a shekel is worth, but I want to know really bad.
Flash it at the top of the screen. Make people
Yeah.
watch YouTube. You want me to Google it?
Yeah. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use. I have something. Let's look at shekel. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I think I got something.
What's 400 shekels of silver between me
How
and you?
much it's approximately a shekel is approximately 8 grams of silver.
All
right, it's
That
right
explains everything.
8 grams.
How much is a gram?
Yeah.
How many grams does it take to make an ounce?
Okay, everyone who's registered must
Yeah, they got to pay a temple tax. But
yeah.
that's like 1,000 years later, man.
and it's in Exodus. Exodus
Oh, yeah.
is everyone who's registered must pay
It's
half
only
a shekel
400 years after
according to the sanctuary shekel.
Yeah, it's 400 years. more away from this.
So this is like
The economy can change a lot in 400
I
years.
don't know how much this is, but you think it's a lot.
I feel like 3,200 grams of silver is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how much a gram is, honestly. How many grams are in an ounce?
How much is that in ounces?
How much is that in ounces? We're Americans. Yeah.
Pounds and ounces, please.
So anyways, for a cave,
You think it's a steep price?
it feels like it.
I'm fine with that. It's not just a cave, isn't it? Land, a field too.
This is just like an acre.
Yeah. Okay. This is not much land.
No, man. 3,200 grams of silver.
It's just a little
You could
piece.
get you a Mini Cooper for that these days.
A mini? Do they still make Mini Coopers?
Not a clue.
Yeah.
I don't know why that popped in my brain, but there you go.
All right. So Ephron's field at
Mechallah
near Mamre.
Near Mamre.
Near Mamre.
Yeah.
The field with its cave and all the trees anywhere within the boundaries of the field became Abraham's possession in the sight of all the Hittites who came to the gate of his city. So is there a city involved here too? He's got a city?
No, I don't think he owned the city.
It says his city.
Yeah, I think the city's around there.
Oh, okay.
He said, verse 20, so the field and the cave that is in it were deeded over to Abraham. For
And they start calling it Hebron after this too. So
And, yeah, so the poignant point of chapter 23 is...
the pointy point?
The poignant.
Poignant point.
It looks like poignant.
I know.
but
I like the idea of a pointy point.
Okay, the pointy point is that Sarah died and didn't see squat.
She didn't.
Yeah, except for the birth of Isaac, she did see that. But she left. Her husband was like, we're going to go get a bunch of real estate. God's going to give us the whole promised land.
She never got it.
Never did.
Man.
Yeah, and now they have a cave to bury their dead in, which will continue to pop up throughout the rest of this narrative.
Yeah, that's right. That cave is famous.
Focal.
Yeah, it's comes up a lot. So after this,
it becomes part of the promise of deliverance.
We still, speaking of the promise, like there's still like this aim that the descendants of Abraham are going to become a great nation. So we have Isaac. Well, how is Isaac going to become a great nation? Right, that's like the next step.
Yeah.
Well, he needs some children.
He does.
Yeah, he does need some children.
Yes.
And so that's what the next story is about.
Yeah,
right?
so Isaac is 30-something.
Yeah.
And Abraham's old, because that means he's like 135.
Yeah,
and I think
old.
of Yoda. Mm-hmm. When 135 years old you are, look so good you will not.
Yeah.
He's old. He's still got 40-something years left.
Yeah,
though.
dude. Yeah.
But anyway... he's like, I got to get a son for Isaac, and this kind of tells you his relationship with his neighbors, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't want him marrying one of these girls. That's what he says.
It is, yeah.
Send him back home and find him a cousin.
Yep.
That's the truth, man. It's his first cousin.
I don't know what to do about that, man. What do you do about that?
Well, and
he did it.
I mean, Abraham was married to his sister, dude.
It was a half sister.
Still counts.
Oh, golly.
I mean, it ain't like somebody could today say, I'm married to my half-sister, and you'd be like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
You'd be like, just say what?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I gotta, God doesn't tell him.
First cousin marriage was super common.
That's been
throughout
common,
history.
honestly, all the way up into the last couple of years. One of our presidents was this, Teddy Roosevelt. No, FDR.
Married to his cousin?
Yeah, married to his cousin.
It's not unusual. And actually... it's not that genetically dangerous.
No, the big danger is...
I'm not saying it's more dangerous than a complete stranger, possibly.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
Yeah. The danger is when...
Listen to me. Somebody's going... somebody's like, these freaking guys from Alabama are talking about marrying their first cousins. We're talking about historically. We are not married to our cousins. I went all the way down to Louisiana to find my wife.
My wife is... my family's from all over. She's from Alabama. Mm-hmm. But I'm fresh blood around here, man. I'm not from Alabama.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah. I'm like...
you were from Alabama. You was born here.
I was not born here.
Shut up.
I was born in Austin, Texas.
We can still be friends.
Yeah, my mom's from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
My dad's from Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
And I ended up here.
My dad is from Arab, Alabama, because they couldn't spell Arad. That was what it's supposed to be. They got the B backwards and kept it.
For real?
Not a joke.
Oh, my goodness.
It's named after Arad Thompson. And when the government wrote it down, they wrote it down Arab. There ain't been an Arab ever lived in Arab, Alabama.
How about that?
Crazy. Isn't
That
it?
is
Or
crazy.
an Arab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a couple Arabs
No, there haven't.
to live in Alabama.
Not an Arab.
Oh yeah, maybe not an Arab.
Not an Arab, buddy. They got a history of like not liking folk.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
I'm
pretty
sure it's
racist over there.
changed.
Yeah,
They used to be.
yeah. Used to be.
I mean, they might be getting over it.
yeah. I hope
don't
they
know.
are. Yeah,
I hope they
Golly.
are. Yeah. So that and my mom and them
Yeah.
from Sardis,
Sardis.
Gadsden,
That's in the Bible.
Whitesboro.
Sardis is in the Bible.
I know it.
City.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that Sardis. Sardis,
Different
Alabama.
Sardis. Yep. Yep.
So
Sardis-
I'm 100%.
Yeah. Sardis is in Arab. Both. This is a beautiful country up here.
Facts.
Man, Arab is beautiful.
Glory.
Yep. And so is Sardis.
So it's Gunnersville.
So it's Albertville is actually the least beautiful because we're on the top of the mountain.
We are.
Yeah, if you come out of like the town of Albertville, it gets really beautiful real fast. But we got the roads and stuff here.
There's some places I could show you.
Yeah, as a native. Yeah.
as a native. Huh?
So Isaac's got to get a wife.
He does.
And there's this weird spot. I don't know. Verse 2. You know what I'm talking about. Abraham. So Abraham's going to ask his servant.
Yeah.
To go get Isaac this wife. From their.
Oh, I know what you're
homeland.
talking about.
Yeah.
You stick your hand under my thigh?
Yeah. So it says, Abraham said to his servant, the elder of his household, who managed all he owned, place your hand under my thigh, and I'll have you swear by the Lord, God of heaven and God of earth, that you will not take a wife from my son, from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I live, but will go to my land and my family to take a wife from my son Isaac.
Uh-huh.
What's under the thigh, buddy?
Well, that's what we used to do for handshakes. People just walk up and grab each other by the thigh. I have literally no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like how he did.
That's weird, man.
One day, if Abraham saw us giving high fives, he'd be like, what are they doing?
It's like I want to get a piece of the back of that thigh.
A thigh's up. I don't know, man. It's a little uncomfortable.
It's a little close to the buttocks to me,
Must
man.
be like real. Yeah, it's like.
It's like a little game tap or something.
But I know this: if you ever make an oath and you grab my thigh, you have to keep it. That's a fact.
100%.
100%. It's like this is serious.
That moment was too traumatic for you to not go through with this.
Yep.
All right. So you don't know what that is. I didn't know what that is either.
It never is explained.
Yeah. It's not. It's just sitting there.
No,
Yeah. I guess that made sense to them.
they were close friends.
Yeah, they're buds. Hey, me and you are close friends.
We are, but don't touch my thigh.
Not happen, man.
Not like that.
I'll take a handshake.
If we're playing softball or something, you can smack me on the rump. But that's
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as it goes.
That's right.
So anyway,
Glad I have your permission. The servant said to him, suppose the woman is unwilling to follow me to this land. Should I have your son go back to the land you came from?
no. He said, nope.
No. Yep. Abraham
not-
answered him, make sure that you don't take my son back there.
Don't go back.
Can't go back.
Can't
man.
go back.
You got to be here. right?
This is. Look, I didn't walk around in this place for 65 years and finally buy this stupid cave for
Yeah.
a small fortune
Yeah.
for him to go move back to
Yeah.
daggum Chaldee.
Yeah. Child. That's the redneck version.
Man,
Yeah.
there needs to be a redneck reading of the Bible.
There does.
Daggone Chaldee.
One of my professors in seminary was also a coding guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a super smart dude who makes websites, and he has a website out there. I think it's called the Y'all version.
Of the Bible.
Yeah.
They had a Cotton Patch version of the
Y'all
Bible. Did you know about
version.
that?
Y'all version, yeah. No, I've not heard of that.
You want me to tell you about it?
Sure.
It was written during the Civil Rights Movement. It's pretty interesting because he took great liberties with it to make a point.
Uh-huh.
And the story of the Good Samaritan is a white guy gets beat up and is robbed on the side of the road, and two white guys pass on the other side, and a black man takes him and takes care of him, takes him to the end. He said, "Who is your neighbor?" So it's like it's
Cut to the heart, though.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that
actually
issue.
what the issue's about, because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Samaritan is the despised one in
Yeah.
that book, and in the Civil Rights Movement, that was how he chose to do it, to
How
kind of
about
like
that?
put it in the modern parlance. It's not really a translation. It's
It's a storytelling.
whatever.
Elaboration. So if you're interested in this, you can look up y'allversion.com, and it's fascinating. What he does, like, there's a funny thing when you're reading in English, we don't have what's called the second person plural. You know, if you're using like pronouns,
Well,
you.
we do.
Yeah, that's right.
The Yankees.
Exactly. English as like a standard doesn't have...
You is plural and singular.
Yeah. You can say, if I'm talking to an audience of people, I will say, you go and, sing this song, right? And that is plural. And I can also tell Brad, you go and pick that book up. It's the same word. But in the South, we have y'all.
That's right.
And in Greek and Hebrew, you have the second person plural, y'all. And it's actually it can be a very important idea.
Yeah, who do y'all say that I am?
Yeah.
Can hit different in English than who do you say I am? Is he talking to me?
Yep.
Or
What you realize when you read
asked
it,
the group, and Peter answers. So it wasn't like, who do you?
Yeah. When you read it, in the y'all version, what you see is like how often the Bible's talking to the community of believers, to everyone. Like, y'all are the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Because a lot of times as individuals in the United States, we think everybody's talking to us. It's like, God's talking to me. It's like, I'm talking to the whole church.
Yeah, the whole church.
Y'all.
Yep. So y'allversion.com, it's pretty cool. You can read through the whole Bible. It's I think they take the NET version and he makes that
He y'allifies it.
Yeah, he y'allifies it. It's fun. I think he actually has some other I think there's a used guys in like I'm talking about the
yeah, but that's no good.
Yeah, it's just different
I'm just saying
areas.
Y'all is far superior than used guys.
Yeah, y'all is great. Y'all should be
standard.
It's actually it's inseparable in Southern dialect.
Yeah,
like you can't take it out.
Y'all are killing me.
Yeah.
Just don't same the same. You killing me.
I don't know how we got onto that subject.
You did it.
I did.
Your fault.
So he's gonna go back there, and he can't stay. Or he has to stay here. He
cannot go back.
Cannot go back.
Cannot go back. He wants a wife from where his family came from.
Yep.
But he does not, under any circumstance, want Isaac to go back there and settle.
Yep.
Because this is the land of promise.
And the promise is rehashed in like verse 7. So make sure that you don't take my son back there. The Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from my native land, who spoke to me and swore to me, I will give this land to your offspring. He will send his angel before you, and you can take a wife for my son from there. If the woman is unwilling to follow you, you're free from this oath to me, but don't let my son go back there. So whatever you do, Isaac can't go back, right?
Yeah.
Because this is part of God's promise.
Back.
Yep.
No turning back.
Hey, that was close to Chris Stapleton level singing right there. Man.
I've been practicing.
You have been practicing.
I thought about smoking.
Yeah, just to get that growl.
I do not know if Chris Stapleton smokes, but he has that smoky voice.
He's got a smoky voice. Yeah,
oh, man.
I like it.
He's smooth as Tennessee whiskey, if you ask me.
We've been singing that song all morning.
No, we haven't. Yeah. We wouldn't. We're pastors.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. We've been singing Here I Am to
I will tell you
this,
because I know that Chris Stapleton is actually a huge fan and sponsor of this podcast, that we have not quite perfected the warm as a glass of brandy. We can't get the warm. Whoa!
Yeah, that's a hard lick right there, man.
Crushing.
He is
Anyways,
so good.
So he can't go back.
Yep, can't go back.
And he sends him off.
Yep.
And this dude is scared in a way. He's driven to prayer.
Yeah,
like, man, this ain't gonna work.
Yep.
He's like, Abraham has sent me off on this crazy task, dude.
Yep.
He's like, go over there and find him a wife.
I mean, could you imagine, like, oh my, that is a terrifying thing. If you told me, you grabbed me by the back of my thigh, like, and you told me go find a husband for Zoe.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Over in Texas,
a wife for Ethan.
In Texas.
Yeah.
My people came from Virginia like 200 years ago. Yeah. Go up there and find Zoe a husband up there.
Oh my gosh.
And don't come back, and don't bring her back to Virginia. Don't carry me back to Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it is pretty big.
Yeah, so he starts praying. He's like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
The God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today and show loving kindness to my master Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he prays and he's like, behold, I'm standing by the spring, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Now may it be that the girl to whom I say, please let down your jar so that I may drink, who answers, drink, and I will water your camels also. May she be the one who is appointed for your servant Isaac. And by this I will know that you have shown loving kindness to my master. Now, I don't know if you know this, but have you ever watered a camel?
I've never watered a camel.
It is a pain.
Is it really?
Do you know how much water a camel can drink in a single sitting?
Nope, I've never watered a camel.
60 gallons.
For real?
Totally made that up. It's a lot. You should Google it.
Let's get Google involved.
Google. How many gallons of water? What is the unladen flight speed of an African swallow?
All right, how many gallons can a camel drink? Camels can drink as much as 32 gallons of water in less than 15 minutes.
Sunshine, I was
32
close.
gallons in 15 minutes.
So here's the deal, man.
Wow.
Dear viewer, listener, okay? How many watering somebody's camels in the desert, drawing up gallons of water is a job.
Dude, that's a job.
100%.
A gallon is what, 8 pounds?
8 pounds. 1 gallon of water weighs 8 pounds.
Wow.
Your head weighs 8 pounds.
Yeah.
So just think, for your example out there, if you're a little overweight and you're like, I'm just carrying around 20 pounds, think about toting around 3 gallon jugs of milk. That's how much extra you're carrying.
How fast you would be if you lost that.
Get rid of that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Start working out.
Yeah.
Get busy. Get you an energy drink. Get in the gym. Anyway, so do you even lift? So we got to help people.
Yeah.
We have a sedentary society.
That's true.
We're given to laziness.
Yeah.
Rebekah was not. Oh, a spoiler, alas. So anyway, the point is that I want a hardworking woman for Isaac. Like, this is not
cool.
no lazy.
I've never seen it like that. That's you're right though, 100%, man.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if she's the kind of person that's like, I'll get you some water. You've been from a long way. Let me show hospitality.
Yeah.
And I'll take care of your camels.
This is like a great litmus test for like a nice girl.
What a good test.
Yeah.
Also, if you must know, in the Old Testament, in Genesis, if you want to find a real babe, a wife, you have to go to a water source. And because Rebekah is at a stream.
Yeah.
And then Jacob meets Rachel at the stream. And Moses will meet his wife at a well. Yeah. So when I was in seminary, I used to hang around the water fountain all the time when I was single.
Is that how you found Amy?
Dear God. Yeah, I was standing there with my water bottle, and I was like, Lord, let the one that's for me say, not only will I let you go to the water fountain first, but I will fill up your bottle. That's not how I met her. I spotted her in the choir.
In the choir?
In the choir.
Really?
True story. I was like, well, who's that?
Who is that?
And then, and this is unusual, I got full of the Holy Ghost. Not spirit. I went at King James. I got full of the Holy Ghost and power. And I was like, hello, I'm Brad. Now, she remembers it different, but I remember it.
How does she say it?
She said I asked everybody on campus who she was before I talked to her, and it got back around to her.
That's funny, man.
And she kind of had, I can't tell her that story.
Oh, why not?
I swooped in and stole her from somebody else.
Oh, you honestly, you slipped into her DMs or something.
No, there was no such thing.
I know, there's no such thing.
I think she was trying to make somebody else jealous and accidentally fell for me.
Oh, wow.
Now I am dead.
Yeah.
I am a dead man.
Why?
She's going to hear this.
You've never confessed that.
No, it's not. I don't know that that's true. It's so hot in here. Is it hot in here?
All of a sudden it is.
So hot. So anyway, Rebekah. Dang it, Bobby.
Dang it, Bobby.
Shut your ball. What am I doing?
I don't know, man. That's
sabotage.
So funny, yeah.
So anyway, there we are.
The couch is going to be wonderful tonight, man.
It's not so bad. I've gotten there before.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to it. We got an extra bedroom now.
Hey, that's right. Yeah. All right. So he praised this, right?
Yes.
And before he had finished speaking.
Before he finished praying.
Oh, yeah.
This is amazing. Mm-hmm. Has God ever answered your prayer before you finished it?
I don't know. I doubt it.
It happened to me one time.
Yeah?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Okay. So I was deer hunting. Mm-hmm. The week before, I had shot. I basically was poor for a while, and we ate deer meat.
That was
for the year. That was our protein substance. And I shot this deer, and I could not find it. And the coyotes feasted upon it, and it hurt my soul. Mm. And like a couple of days later, I shot this deer, and it hit the ground and jumped up and ran into this really thick stuff. I was in South Louisiana, into the palmetto leaves. And I went down there, and I could not find this deer anywhere, looking there all over the place. And I knew I hit it and knocked it on the ground. And I said, Lord God of heaven, you know, I don't want to waste this deer, be a meaningless taker of life. Will you please help me find this deer? And I looked at my feet. I'm as sure as I'm sitting here, that deer was not 2 feet from where I was standing. And I said these words, God, never mind, I found it.
No.
That's what I told him.
Oh, gosh.
But I hope he laughed. But that really happened. It burned in my brain. Like I was like, God
man.
help me. And I just like hung my head and I looked down. I was
Never mind,
I found it.
That's exactly what happened. Man.
I was like,
That is so funny, man.
Yeah, man. So I found it. We ate that. Yeah.
So before he even finished speaking, there was Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Abraham's
you said
brother.
That perfect.
Nahor. You like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I was sitting there looking. I was practicing in my head. I was like, I'm gonna land the plane on this one, man.
Yeah.
Coming with a jug on her shoulder. Now the girl was very beautiful, a virgin. No man had been intimate with her. She went down to the spring, filled her jug, and came up. Then the servant ran to meet her and said, "Please let me have a little water from your jug." What's gonna happen? Okay. She replied, "Drink, my lord." Which is very respectful thing to say.
Yeah. They said my lord back then. Sir. In Alabama would say sir. Drink,
yes,
sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
She quickly lowered her jug to her hand and gave him a drink. When she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will also draw water for your camels until they had enough to drink.
Dude, this is I can't believe it's happening moment.
Yeah.
He literally just got there.
Yeah.
He has not even got to town yet. And he's like, all right, first woman that comes out to water me and my camels, she's good to go. And he's like, wait, here comes a pretty girl.
Yep.
Maybe this could be her
my camels.
carrying this big old jug on her shoulder. Because it's monster.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah. And so, and she does it, man. That's a lot of water.
I know.
Multiple camels.
32
gallons.
So she's lowering this jug down.
Yeah.
Pulling it back up.
Yep.
Maybe got a crank.
Probably 30 times per camel.
Yeah, 30 times. Maybe it's a 10-gallon jug. That means she's cranking up 80 pounds a shot.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, she's a generous person, is what
Not
you're
only
saying.
she's generous, she's boss.
She's tough.
Strong women doing strong women stuff.
Yep, yeah, that's right.
I love it.
Yep.
She probably could. She would have crushed it CrossFit.
Yeah.
She'd be crushing it.
She'd be a great flag football player, like Zoe.
Yeah. She'd be crushing like CrossFit and stuff. Yeah, she's pretty and she's strong and she's watering them camels. And this guy's like, I can't believe this.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yep.
And then the next question, where are you from? Who's your daddy?
Yeah. As the camels finished drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing half a shekel, and for her wrist 2 bracelets.
That's 4 grams of gold, by the way.
Weighing 10 shekels of gold. Whose daughter are you? He asked. Please tell me.
80 grams of gold. This is some serious business.
Is that good? Is that a lot of gold?
I would really. I mean,
how
gold
much?
is like,
I just want to hear the modern day gram of gold. How much is a? This podcast is now just me looking stuff up on Google.
I think an ounce of gold's like $2,000. I mean, it fluctuates, but
a gram of gold, 1 gram of gold is $83.
And it was how many shekels?
I don't. You said it was like 10 grams of gold.
No. What did it say? How many shekels is it? 2 bracelets for weighing 10 shekels in gold. That's 80 grams.
80 grams. 80 times 80.
80 times 80 is 50,000. It's like $6,400.
$6,400.
Minimum.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's a nice little down payment.
That's a day's work.
Yeah.
She was like, thank you.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you, mighty kindly.
Yeah.
She was probably excited. She's like, what's going on?
Yeah, for real. That's like if you just sometimes doing a little bit of that study work can be really helpful in understanding like how, first I would never have known about how long it takes to feed a camel. I would just read it. Okay, she watered the camels, whatever. But knowing how long it takes to water camels is like, and how much water they need, that like really makes the Bible come alive a little bit.
Yeah.
Just by having that little bit of information.
You're welcome.
Hey, thank you so much, buddy. This is incredible.
I know.
I learned so much from you. It's
if you
nuts.
take out a ring weighing 8 grams of gold, I'll take it.
And then same things, like if you don't, if you spend some time thinking about how much this is worth, it's like the stakes get raised in this. It's like, okay, we have some extreme generosity going on between these two.
And she's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, what an opportunity here.
And he's asking like, who's your dad? Can I stay at your house tonight? She's like, yeah.
You got money like that?
Yeah. Big spender.
Yeah.
Come wash your feet at my house.
Yep. So she tells him, who she's the daughter of and everything. And the man knelt low, worshiped the Lord and said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not withheld his kindness and faithfulness from my master. As for me, the Lord has led me on the journey to the house of my master's relatives." Right. So he's in the right spot, man.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Not only did he just pop into town,
Yep.
not only is she the one that watered the camels, that's exactly the family he was looking for.
Yep. Now, Rebekah had a brother named Laban.
He did.
Yep.
She did.
She did, yeah.
Oh, Laban.
Yeah.
He going to come up later.
He is. And Laban ran out to the man at the spring as soon as he had seen the ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists.
This is foreshadowing.
Yeah, and when he heard his sister Rebekah's words, the man said this to me. He went to the man. He was standing there by the camels at the spring. "Come, you who are blessed by the Lord."
Come on
says
in, blessed
Laban.
of the Lord. Yeah.
Why are you standing out there? I've prepared the house and a place for the camels. So they came in, got fed, feet washed, eaten, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you think the foreshadowing is there for Laban?
He's a little bit greedy.
He is.
He
yeah.
noticed the gold.
Yeah.
It's not a throwaway line.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, because Jacob's going to go back and live with him later. Spoiler.
Yeah, and he's going to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like this would make a fantastic little series or movie because Laban he is not a horrible person, but he is flawed. And I enjoy him as a character.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's greedy.
But conniving. Yeah.
But Jacob is also conniving, and he kind of meets his match in Laban.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
And at the end, I think Laban did him wrong, but Jacob was not innocent. But we're going to get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that
at a later date.
Yeah, probably next week, actually.
Yeah.
And so, they start talking.
He's like, "I'm not eating."
Yeah.
I'm not eating. This dude's serious, man. He's like, "I'm on task." This is the kind of guy you want to do a job for you.
That's true.
Like, this is the guy. He's like, "I'm not going to eat your food. I'm not going to wash my feet till I tell you what I'm here for."
Yeah.
And he's like, "After I tell you, I'm leaving."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not messing around.
Yeah.
This dude's the serious business.
Yeah.
There's a reason Abraham picked this guy.
Yeah. And so he tells them all about his prayer and about seeing Rebekah and everything, right?
Also, repetition.
Yeah.
It's almost things in the Bible. So in the narrative, when stuff gets repeated, it means it's true.
Yep.
And so this will happen in Joseph's dreams later.
Yep.
The narrative will purposefully repeat it to show that God fulfilled everything in it.
Yep. And so the story is basically repeated completely,
Yes.
word for word nearly. Get down to verse 50. Laban and Bethuel answered, "This is from the Lord. We have no choice in the matter. Rebekah is here in front of you. Take her and go, and let her be a wife for your master's son, just as the Lord has spoken." Okay. And so she gets to leave and brings a bunch of, they give a bunch of stuff, right? So he brought out objects of silver and gold and garments and gave them to Rebekah. He also
No. It says Abraham's servant heard the words. He bowed down himself. The servant brought out article. He gives them more stuff. They're not giving it to him.
Yeah,
he's giving it.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Rebecca's parents.
Oh no, I meant like
The servant has
the
more
servant-
goodies.
Yeah, Abraham's got.
It's kind of a
yeah.
dowry.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
He's paying a dowry.
There's
basically.
a lot of gifts and gold and stuff going on here. So he also gave precious gifts to her brother and her mother. But Rebekah gets a lot of this stuff too. Like this is like Rebekah's being adorned here.
Yes.
With the blessing that's kind of come through Abraham and his family.
Yeah. It also, you think about this. This is not 2024, right? When Rebekah leaves the house, she's gone.
Yeah, for real.
We can't even really. It's super hard to wrap your mind around. But when Laban and his family sends his sister out, that's it. We won't see you again.
I know, yeah.
And that is tough. So part of this dowry and gift giving is not just like I'm financially compensating you. That's probably like the least romantic way to think about it. But it's like we can take care of your daughter.
Yeah,
That's what they're saying. We can take care of your daughter.
Yeah,
Look at all
she's
this
gonna be
gold.
fine.
She's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Which must have been terrifying back then.
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
It would be terrifying today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even that long ago where that stuff was a reality.
Yeah.
Someone moves away and you don't have telephones, you don't have all these communication
we preserve
devices.
some of this a tradition now, and people get all bent out of shape about it, about like who gives this woman to be married.
Yeah.
Like what the relinquishing of responsibility of care and the vetting of the potential spouse, husband. I mean, it was life and death stuff. If you sent your daughter off with some lousy dude, doomed. And you won't ever know.
Yeah. For real, man. It was a lot harder to get divorced and stuff and deal with those situations back then.
That was part of the dowry. She got to keep it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is hers.
This is hers.
Yeah. This is her protection.
Isaac was like, "You get out of here." She was like, "I'm taking my stuff and I'll get
Yeah. So they're getting up. They're going to leave, but she wants to.
Laban wants them to hang out.
Yeah. And he responded to them, "Do not delay me, since the Lord has made my journey a success. Send me away so that I may go to my master."
They want 10 days to say bye.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is not unreasonable. Give us a week.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable.
But the servant's like,
it's happening, man.
If she wants to go.
If she wants to go, let's do it.
Because verse 57 says, well, we'll talk to her. I think they wanted to have a little bit of time to make sure things didn't just get swept off away. Plus, they're not going to see her again.
I wonder what
maybe have a little party.
I wonder what the point is. What's the big deal, if you will, about the servant's like tenacity and speed about the whole thing? I think it is not about the servant. It's about Rebekah. Okay. Is she going to be a person of faith? So the question is, she's seen these things from God. Yeah.
Like, this dude just walked up. He prayed this prayer. I fulfilled it completely. He happened to come to my father's house. He has all these things, these blessings. My brothers and family have acknowledged this is from the Lord. Will I step out in faith and follow this man?
Oh, yeah.
And so it is a faith story about the women of the lineage of Jesus.
That's cool.
And of Israel. So Rebekah is a woman of faith. She's seen what God has said. What she's seen is this guy has come from nowhere. He's said this prayer to the Lord. She's fulfilled it exactly. She's gone to her parents' house, and they're like, this is from the Lord. What can we do? We see that she's been showered with lavish gifts and all that sort of thing. And now he's like, we got to go.
Yeah.
We can't just sit around. So, are you going to step out in faith or not? Because when you attach it to Sarah, I mean, she didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, God's told me we got to go.
Yeah.
And we got to go.
So it's like, if she doesn't just say, I'll go, then it's like not the act of faith. So he's looking for like
that is a definite act of faith here. An immediate response. Because she has been given evidence that the Lord is in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, the book of Hebrews kind of talks about that. That you should, the women should be like the women of old, women of faith, who, when Sarah said, yes, my Lord, when called him Lord, when he said, we got to move. Yeah, and walked with him for 65 years and saw nothing.
Yeah. Wow, for real. And so
except Isaac, which was a big deal. I keep saying nothing, but they didn't get the land.
Yeah, she saw promised. Isaac though. Yeah,
but the big impetus for moving. I mean, they could have had kids back in Chaldee, right?
Yeah. But the kid's important.
Super important.
The kid turns into other kids.
Massively important. Yeah. But they left for the land promise, and that's what Abraham's worried about too. Yeah, at this point, he's like, "Don't send him back over."
Yeah, that's right. And Rebekah turns out to be a person of faith later on in the story.
Yeah, she's the one that safeguards the promise, not Isaac.
Yeah, when the children are born,
and the prophecy comes to her, not Isaac.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. So sum it up. What's the big deal about this little piece of the narrative from the
faith? Yeah, it is about Abraham's faith, even though he's old and reached the end of his days, supposedly. He's still going to live 40 years, but before the end, is that God's promised me this, do not send Isaac back. Like, don't make me have done all this walking around for nothing.
Yeah.
And he's a man of faith. The guy who leaves to go get Rebekah is like, God help. And then God provides, and then it's laid in Rebekah's lap, and she's like, "I'll go with you."
You think that there's like some application here about just, when we pray, when we're asking God to do things, what kind of like expectations should we have about the timing of things based on stories like this? Because this played out over decades, The promise and the fulfillment played out over decades,
Well, you got a lot. You got things like before the guy finished speaking, she shows up, and then you have Abraham praying for his son, and that doesn't be delivered for 25 years.
Yeah.
So you just don't know.
I feel like there's that's part of this story.
Yeah.
It's like that it's happening on God's time, and it's kind of purposely framing up those expectations. Is like the fulfillment is really just it's not on you.
No.
It's on God.
It is on God.
Yeah.
On God.
On God.
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
So he does. We just don't know when.
Yeah. I think there's application for that for everyone,
But there's a spot, man. I don't want to jump too far ahead. We'll come back and do some other stuff. But when God comes to Isaac in chapter 26, he says, again, verse 4, it's repetition. I will multiply your descendants or your seed as the stars of the heaven. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And give your seed all these lands, and all your descendants, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed through your seed. It's the Abrahamic promise, right? And it says, because Abraham obeyed me and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws, which is a weird way to frame it. Because normally when those things are put in order, that is the law of Moses. That Abraham kept the law of Moses. And in fact, it's such shorthand for the law that the old, some of the rabbis in commentaries on this would say that God revealed the Mosaic law to Abraham while he sat under the oaks of Mamre. Because how else can Abraham keep the charge, commandments, statutes, and laws of God if he didn't even know them?
Yeah.
And the answer is not that he had the law, but that he was a man of faith.
Yeah.
That's how you keep the law, is be a man of faith.
And that's the New Testament.
That's the New Testament.
Yeah.
It's the Old Testament.
Yeah.
When you
it's
read
just
it,
very explicitly said in the New Testament.
The thing,
Romans.
yes, the thing is, it's said here too.
Yeah.
It's that when you read the righteousness of Abraham or Moses or anybody in Israel as people who are law keepers and therefore are righteous, you have fell down over the stumbling block of the law.
Yeah.
The people we're seeing here, Rebekah, Isaac, Abraham, people of faith.
Yeah.
And they keep God's law by it.
Because they keep God's law because they're people of faith.
Yes, because the law of God, the ultimate law is to love him and trust him and to love your neighbor.
Yep. And those things happen when you're a faithful person.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the big deal about
goodness, a big deal.
Yeah, Isaac and his wife
Laughter.
Rebekah. Yeah,
and Rebekah.
And
she's a hero.
Yeah, their kids become real important to the story.
You might say pivotal.
Pivotal.
Yeah.
The whole name of Israel. It comes from all that. So we'll be talking about that next week on the Big Deal podcast. You have anything else you want to add?
Did we mention that Chris Stapleton really loves this?
This podcast. This podcast sponsored and powered by Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, and our theme song is "Broken Halos." Chris Stapleton don't know about us.
It's a
joke. We lied.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for listening.